Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, what up? So, okay, you guys, I know that I said that my last shot my stash was going to be the last one for the end of the year, but man, listen, okay, I really want to switch up these makeup products. I got some new products in, and then I got some other products that I just want to use for the upcoming holiday season. And if I'm being honest, I might even switch out my Shop My Stash again by the time Christmas and New Year's comes around. So I'm not gonna force it. I'm just gonna let myself do whatever it is that I want to do. You know, if I want to switch out my Shop My Stash items and put some new things in, then I'm gonna allow myself to do that. I'm gonna allow myself to use my makeup and have fun with it. So that's what we're doing here. We are switching out the products from my last Shop My Stash, and I'm going to be bringing in some new things. So let's just jump right into it. I'm actually going to start with the palettes first because let me tell you, I got such good use on all of these palettes. Okay, so my Charlotte Tilbury Quad, I did use this one. This is the luxury palette of pops. I might actually pull this back in around Christmas and January time because I love the shimmers, and like I said, I really want to use this color right here for probably like a Christmas Eve or a New Year's Eve makeup look. So I'll be pulling that back in. And then my Makeup Shayla ColourPop Proceed with Caution palette, I'll probably be pulling this one back in as well. I still need to do a makeup of the day with that palette, but I've worn it so much that I am a little bit over it, okay? The next palette that I have here is the Too Faced Secret Santa eyeshadow palette, and I just recently wore this one. I wore these two colors right here, the copper and the red, and it was beautiful, a very festive eyeshadow look, so I really enjoyed that one. This Makeup Revolution times the Plastic Boy. Listen, I am so in love with this palette. I am obsessed, and even though this is not going to be in my Shop My Stash anymore, I'll probably still be reaching for this palette over and over again because the colors in here, they just grab me. I keep gravitating towards this palette. I love using it for all of the transition shades, the outer corner shades. It's stunningly gorgeous, and I love the formula. The formula is actually A1. I did do a holiday look using my Lorac Fairy Tale Forest palette, this emerald green eyeshadow. I did use that one as well as this one up here, so you guys can check that out if you want to see that palette in action. I also wore my Huda Beauty Empowered palette in one of my videos, and I got so many compliments on that makeup look in general. So this is what the palette looks like, and I was actually wearing this color right here, the purpley duochrome that I said I wanted to wear. And like I said, I got so many compliments. People love that eyeshadow look, so I was happy to wear that one. My Urban Decay Naked Honey eyeshadow palette, I did get good use out of this one as well, so that one is coming out. My Huda Beauty Desert Dust eyeshadow palette, wore this one, loved it. This is coming out. And then my Anastasia Beverly Hills Rose Metals eyeshadow palette, really enjoyed this one. This is another one that I might pull out again sometime soon around like Christmas and New Year's, but for now it's coming out. My Pat McGrath Celestial Divinity, loved it, did a makeup of the day with this one. So pretty, really enjoyed that one. And then I just wore my Celestial Odyssey palette on my eyes yesterday, and I was obsessed with the look that I did with this palette. I used this darker brown shade. It was stunning. So yes, this is coming out as well. So y'all, I'm really excited about the palettes that I'm going to be pulling in, but for now let's talk about the rest of the products. Okay, so I did get good use on all of the primers that I pulled in for this round. The Plastic Boy Gary Thompson primer, love this one. It is super grippy, like I told you guys. The Ulta Beauty Mattifying Primer, this is always a fave, and I love it. I finally got my thoughts together on the Urban Decay All Nighter, and I do like this primer. It is very gripping. And then the MAC Studio Fix Mattifying Shine Control Primer, this one is great. This is actually really good to use with all of these other like gripping type of primers, so that not only does my makeup last all day, but it's also mattified and my oils are controlled. So that grouping of primers worked really well together. The Makeup Forever HD foundation, I did wear this one and I liked it. The Dior Forever Matte foundation, like that one as well. Y'all know I just don't really love the colors of those foundations, but I know how to make them work, and when I make them work, they actually look incredible on my skin, so I can't fault it there. And then this CoverGirl foundation, this is actually in a project pan, because if you guys remember from my last Shop My Stash, I had the Dose of Colors one in my Shop My Stash, well, in my project pan, and I finished that one off. So now I got a new foundation. I told y'all I'm just going going through my makeup, okay? Just going through it. For my concealers, all of these are coming out. No, the Dior Forever is going to stay actually, but the rest of these are coming out. So my Too Faced Ethereal Light Reflecting Concealer, the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer, and then my MAC Studio Fix 24-hour concealer. These are all coming out. The Dior is staying in because I'm actually pulling in another Dior foundation. So I kind of want to keep that one in there. For my powders, I am only going to keep in the one size. I think I'm only going to keep in my one size powder, which is the powder that I use for under my eyes on days where I don't want to use like an actual loose setting powder. I did rediscover the Juvia's Place Flower Setting Powder, and I do still love it. I do think it's a great loose powder. The Juvia's Place one, since I learned how to work with it, I enjoyed it when I did use it. My MAC Studio Fix powder, this one is coming out. This is just to set my face. It's in the shade NC47. And then I need to wash my little beauty blender sponge, but that's staying in here with the one size powder. Okay, so then for my blushes and bronzers, I did use both of these. This one was used in a makeup of the day, so I did use that one. I only used one shade actually. I only used this side. As you guys can see, I didn't want to use the pink. I just feel like, you know, I didn't want to use the pink side, but I talked about this in my makeup of the day video that the formula is not my favorite as far as cream blush goes, but it was workable and I was able to, you know, work with it and come up with a pretty cheek look. But yeah, it's not my favorite, but it was okay. I did use my Rare Beauty blush in the shade Grace. This shows up as like a super hot pink on my cheeks, but I do really like the formula and how it blends out and everything. It's very pigmented, so that is something that I do like. And then my Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio, I use this one as like an everyday type of palette because this blush is such a subtle shade on my skin, but I love it. I really do like the formula, so I enjoy using that. All of my cream bronzers I was able to use, so I did use my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed. I used the NARS in a makeup of the day video. I used the Charlotte Tilbury. This one is super nice, so I used that one. I did use my MAC Format blush. Again, this one was used in a makeup of the day. My Morphe bronzer, loved this, definitely used this one. And then my Christian Dior highlights, I got good use on this. Really enjoyed this highlight because it's just such a natural skin finish highlight. My Sephora bronzer, use this in a makeup of the day. Always love that one. And then my One Size Beauty Cheek Clapper Blush Trio, love this shade. It's stunning and gorgeous. So really enjoyed all of my complexion products. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed all of my complexion products, and I'm surprised that I got through them so quickly because usually in my Shop My Stash, it takes me a while to get through my complexion products. Okay, so some of my single eyeshadows are gonna come out of here because I did use them. So I used my MAC Vanilla Pigment. I also used my English Gilt Pigment. These are so, so pretty. So I used both of those. I also used my NYX Vegas Baby Pigment. Look at that shine, it is stunning. And then I also use my MAC Yes to Sequins Dazzle Shadow, and I told you guys I love this as like an inner corner highlight, so I did use that one. And then these three are staying in here, and I'm gonna add some more single shadows that I might want to use for the holiday season. I don't know if I'm going to get around to using them, but I'm gonna throw them in here anyway because I want to. Okay, and then for my lips, I pretty much used everything. The only product that's gonna stay in is going to be this Live Glam Metallic Red Liquid Lipstick because I haven't worn this. I've kind of been saving it because I know that I want to wear that, you know, sometime on Christmas Day or something like that. This Chanel lipstick, people really loved this lipstick. I wore it in one of my last videos, and I topped it off with that new gloss from the Fenty Gloss Posse that came out for the holiday season. So like that really shimmery, pinky purple color. I put that over the top of this Chanel lipstick and people loved it. This was the lipstick that I was wearing with the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. So yeah, people loved that lip combo, and I pretty much, like I said, used everything else. So all of the lip products are going to come out so I can put some new ones in. And y'all know my face setting powders are going to stay the same. My NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop and my ColourPop finishing powder in dark, those are staying in. So oh yeah, MAC Fix Plus, I'm gonna leave this right here just because I have found myself using this a lot, but my Charlotte Tilbury is going to come out, and I think I'm gonna put in my Urban Decay All Nighter. So let me get all of my new products so I can show you guys what I'm putting in for this next round of Shop My Stash. Okay, you guys, so I actually decided to keep in another lip product. So this is a Live Glam liquid lipstick, and this one is more of like a metallic brown shade. And I did think that that one would be pretty for the holidays, and I haven't gotten a chance to wear it yet, so I'm gonna leave that in as well. But let's start at the top and let's put in the primers and the foundations that I'm going to be using. So the first primer that I want to bring in is going to be my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm Powder, and this one is in the shade Universal. I do use this as a primer. I use this in a makeup of the day, and I really thoroughly enjoyed this product. I feel like it really did smooth my skin. It really did make my skin look flawless, and I feel like it held my makeup incredibly well. So I want to test that out more and use it more. So I'm pulling that in, and I'm also pulling in my e.l.f. Cookies and Dream putty primer, and I really do like this primer. It's literally like the standard e.l.f. putty primer, so it definitely fills in my pores and smooths my skin, but this one has a little bit of a like cookie cream type of scent, so I want to bring that in as well. And I believe I have one more primer. And the last primer that I want to bring in is my Revolution Pro Hydra Matte Primer. So since we're in the winter time, I do want to make sure that I'm giving my skin hydration, but while also still controlling my oils. So this is a perfect primer for that, and I need to use it more. I might have to move my primers around because this Danessa Myricks one is so big. I don't think that I'm going to be able to put my foundations in here. And I do have quite a bit of foundations that I want to use. So the first one is going to be my new Dior Face and Body Foundation. This one is in the shade 6N. I did do a makeup of the day with this foundation. I love this. This foundation is incredible. It's so liquidy, but it dries down to like this like natural powder finish, and it's so buildable. You can go full coverage, you can go light like tinted moisturizer type of coverage. It's so pretty. I really enjoy that foundation. Another foundation that I've really been enjoying is the L'Oreal True Match Nude. This is the hyaluronic acid tinted serum. I expected this coverage to be so light on this foundation, but it's actually not. This gives really great coverage. It doesn't make my skin look oily or greasy or shiny. It does have a little bit of a like shimmer glow to it, but it's not glitter inside of the formula, but it definitely has a glow to it. People have compared this to the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, but the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation does not have those shimmer glitter particles to it. Just a combination of the skincare that's in that foundation is what makes it glowy. But anywho, either way, I love that L'Oreal foundation, so I wanted to put it in here to get some more use on it. And to go along with that, I also wanted to add in the L'Oreal True Match Foundation, the original. Oh yeah, by the way, I have this one in the shade 8.5, 9.5, and it is a perfect match for me. And then in the L'Oreal True Match, I have the shade Cappuccino in 8, which is neutral 8. And the last foundation that I'm going to be bringing in is my Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation and Concealer in the shade 11A Nutmeg. Have not used that foundation in a minute, so I kind of need to rediscover it. For my concealers, I'm only bringing in 2 because I still have the one from Dior that I want to use. So I'm bringing in my Patrick Star One Size Concealer. I love this concealer. This is the Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer. And this one is in the shade Medium Dark 3. That's a really nice highlighting shade for me. And then I'm also going to bring in my NYX Born to Glow Radiant Concealer. Again, since we're in winter, I want to use kind of like my glowy products. I do have to bake with this concealer or it will definitely crease on me, but that's not an issue because I love to bake, okay? So while the camera is up here, I'm actually gonna go ahead and do my lip products now. So I do have quite a few lip products that I want to add in. So the first one is going to be this MAC liquid lipstick, and this one is in the shade Carnivorous, and I really wanted just this like dark wintry kind of color. I still love a good bold but not too deep and vampy type of lip during the fall and winter. So Carnivorous, this is like the perfect shade. It's like a burgundy brown almost, and I love it when it dries down. So I'm going to be adding that in there, and then I'm also going to be adding in this NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Abu Dhabi. This is a really nice natural nude type of color. I can wear that every day with any type of look and it'll look good. I also want to add in this Live Glam liquid lipstick. This one is in the shade, oh, the sticker fell off, so it doesn't have a shade, but it's basically like this chocolate brown color. Like, it's so pretty, and it even has all of these little chocolate dessert type things on the cap. So this one is going to be really pretty as well. Let's see, I know I want to add in my MAC Powder Kiss lipstick in the shade Impulsive, And this is basically a nude shade, and it's such a pretty brown nude. Like, this is perfect on my skin tone, so I want to put that in. And then I have this ColourPop X Mulan Hua Mulan Cream lipstick. This one is kind of just like a rosy pink nude type of color, so very, very pretty to go with more of like neutral or even pinky type of looks. I have this set from Morphe that just came in yesterday. This is their smoky red Out in a Pout lip trio, and if you guys don't know, I love the Morphe Out in a Pout caramel nude lip trio. That was my favorite. I finished off the gloss and the lipstick. The lip liner is like a little nub right now, and so I repurchased it, and when I bought it, I also got another set. So this is their smoky red set, and it comes with this dark lip liner. So this one is in the shade Taboo, and it's basically like a dark burgundy red type of lip liner. So pretty. So I want to just go ahead and throw that in there. And then you have the lipstick, and the lipstick is in the shade No Shame, and it's like this deeper berry red type of color. So stunningly beautiful. But I think the most beautiful part of this lip set is the gloss. Y'all, this gloss, look at it. It is so pretty. This one is in the shade Trippy, and it's basically a brown gloss, but it has burgundy, red, and pink shimmers throughout it. This will be so pretty over a nude lipstick. This will be pretty over a pink lipstick. It'll be pretty over that burgundy red berry lipstick. So I'm super excited to use that trio because the gloss alone gets me excited to use it. Another lipstick that I'm going to be pulling in from Live Glam, this is in the shade Cool Mom, and this one is another nice kind of nudie shade, and I haven't used this one yet, so I wanted to throw that in here to just get some use on it. I'm bringing in my Buxom Lip Plumping Polish. This one is in the shade Autumn, and the name I feel like definitely fits the season. So again, it's very, very similar to that Morphe lip gloss, except this one, instead of the base being more brown, the base is more of like this heavy glittery brownie purple type of color, and it has so much shimmer running throughout it. So I thought that that would be a really nice topper gloss as well. I have this super, super pale gloss from Live Glam as well. This one is in the shade Kiss My Tulips. Y'all, when I tell y'all this gloss is super duper pale, I mean it is super duper pale, but I can definitely work with it on top of other nude lipsticks and other like brownie lipsticks to kind of lighten them up. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in there. And then the last thing that I want to pull in was this Ashley Strong X Morphe set. So this is the lip liner, and this one is in Gilded Spirit, and it's kind of like a cool tone brown kind of color, but I love putting this all over my lips with a darker brown lip liner. And then you have the gloss, which is also in Gilded Spirit. This looks like a cool tone brown gloss, but really when you put it on your lips, it's kind of clear. So I just wanted to go ahead and throw that in there and use that because I haven't used that set in a minute. Okay, so I brought you guys down some so we can talk about the powders that I'm going to be adding in. The first one is going to be my e.l.f. loose powder, and this one is in the shade banana. No, this one is in the shade Corrective Yellow. So as you guys can see, it's a super yellow type of powder, and I basically use it under my eyes as like a loose setting powder to bake. So I'm going to be putting this in here. Okay, the next powder that I'm going to be using is going to be my Laura Mercier Ultra Blur Talc Free Powder, and this one is in the shade Translucent Medium Deep. And I will, of course, be using this to set my face, and I really just want to get some use on that powder and familiarize myself with it and get to know it. All of the next powders that I'm going to add in, these are powders to set my face. They aren't really like for my under eyes, and that's okay because I feel like the e.l.f. one, that's the only one that I need. So I'm definitely going to be adding in my Makeup Forever powder foundation, and this is their Matte Velvet Skin Blurring Powder Foundation in the shade Y445. So I love using this powder foundation on top of that Dior Face and Body foundation because it's a little bit dark for me, and this one just helps to even it out. So I'm putting that in. I'm also putting in my ColourPop Pretty Fresh pressed face powder in the shade Dark 18. And listen, you guys, I have been using this with a little like pressed powder puff sponge, especially like the one from e.l.f., the e.l.f. Halo Glow powder puff sponge. And this is so pretty to like touch up my makeup because it doesn't add too much color or too much more coverage to my face. It just looks so pretty and airbrush and flawless. So I love using this as a touch-up powder. So I definitely want to add that in there and use it because I haven't used it in a while actually. And then the last powder I want to add in is my Dior Face and Body Powder No Powder. This one is in the shade 6N, and I use this as basically a perimeter powder. So I use this to go over the sides of my face and everything, and where my bronzer is, to kind of blend everything together. This powder is a little bit darker than my skin tone, so it works really well to blend everything on the outer perimeter of my face. And I think it's just such a nice powder. I don't think all of these powders are going to fit in here. Oh yeah, they do. Yay! So everything fits really, really nice and snug in there. Love that. Okay, so let's move on to my blushes, my bronzers, and my highlighters, because I have quite a few things to talk about as far as that goes. Let's do cream bronzer first. So the first thing I'm going to bring in is going to be my Rare Beauty bronzer stick, and this one is in the shade Full of Life. I haven't used this very much at all. You can see that I've used it, and I really like this because it's legitimately a cream bronzer stick, so it gives me warmth to my face. So I want to pull that in, and then I also want to pull in my NYX Wander stick, and this one is in the shade Deep, and this is a dual-ended stick. It comes with the highlighter side, and then it comes with this darker side. This one is a little bit more of a like contour shade on me. It still bronzes me and gives me warmth to my face, but it's a little bit more of a contour shade. So I figured using these two together in conjunction with each other would give me a really, really nice bronze contour type of cheek. Okay, and then for my actual bronzers, I'm only bringing in 2 for powder. I'm bringing in the Milani Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in 04 Sun Drench. I really feel like they did away with this shade because I don't see it anywhere. I don't even think it's on their website anymore, but I have it and I'm gonna use it because you guys can see I haven't used it that much. So I'm really excited to get some use out of that. And then I'm also gonna bring in my Nabla Skin Bronzing Powder in the shade Profile. This is another one that I haven't used a lot. I mean, you can kind of see that I've kind of worn away the name and a little bit of the design, but for the most part, I haven't used this a ton. So I do want to get use out of this and kind of, you know, re-familiarize myself with that. Okay, so then we have my blushes. I'm bringing in a few blushes, not too many. So the first one I'm bringing in is my Mented Cosmetics blush in the shade Clay Too Much. And this is what that looks like. And this is, as you guys can see, more of that like bricky red terracotta type of shade. I love these type of colors for blush year round. They're very, very pretty. So I want to get some use on this one. And then I'm also bringing in a blush that's a little bit out of season, in my opinion. Like for me, it's a little bit out of season, but I just could not stand not using this, okay? I really want to get some use on this. This is the Juvia's Place Volume 4 Blushed Duo. And this is the one that is reminiscent of the Dior blush that went viral, that really, really pink shade. So I want to see how this is going to look on my skin. And since I pulled in a lot of pinky shades for my eyeshadow palettes, I think I'll be okay with using that. Another blush that I'm bringing in is newer to my collection. This is the NARS blush in the shade Dominate. And this is so glittery and shimmery. This can almost be used as like a blush topper, but for me, I love using it on its own. But it's so shimmery and glittery that I can, you know, put it over the top of something. So maybe I will put it over the top of that Juvia's Place pink blush if it's a little bit too pink for me, you know. So then I'm pulling in 2 of my Milani baked blushes. These are old, but you know, they're baked blushes, so they'll be fine. This is in the shade Berry Amore. I really like this one as an everyday blush. It's super pretty. And then I'm also bringing in Rose d'Oro. And this one is super, super nice. It shows up on my skin beautifully. And with these, I don't need to wear a highlighter when I put those on. So for my highlights, you guys, my highlighters are super exciting. Like I'm really excited for these highlighters, okay? So the first one I'm bringing in is my Dior Quad that I got during the Sephora sale, and this is the one in 02 Glitz. Love these colors. Love these colors. I love how these are more shimmery and glittery. So if I use either one of these on my face, but I want to add a little bit more shine, I can go over the top of it with one of these. And the colors all work on my skin tone. They are super stunning. Another highlight that I'm bringing in is this Wet n Wild highlighting gold bar in the shade Holly Goldhead. And you guys can see the shimmer and sparkle and shine on this one. And I love that it has this little pink star up there so that you can do a blend of like a gold and rose gold type of highlight. But this is so pretty. You guys can see I haven't used it much at all, but I want to get some use out of it now. I'm also bringing in this One Size Disney Fantasia highlight. I did buy this collection from One Size Beauty and I thought it was so stunning. You guys, look at Mickey in the mirror. Like, how cute is this? Look at him in the mirror. That is so cute. I love this highlighter. This is so pretty. It does have a lot of like shimmer and glitter to it, but y'all know me, I'm a glitter fiend. I love that. So this highlight is definitely right up my alley. I love the packaging. I almost don't want to ruin the embossing, but I bought this highlighter not just because it was cute, but because I want to use it because the color is stunning. So, and then look at the packaging. This is so nice. So I definitely want to use that. And then another highlight that I paid a pretty penny for, but I didn't just buy it because, you know, it looks good. I bought it because I need to use it. This is the Chanel Eclat Lunaire Rose Highlights. And this is the one with the limited edition embossing on it. You guys, how stunning is this highlight? So it has the Chanel No. 5 fragrance on it as well as the globe pattern. I think this highlight is beautiful. So I have used it a couple of times, but very carefully because I don't want to ruin the stamp on it. But this is so nice. I paid a pretty penny for this. So it's not only going to just look good in my collection, but I'm going to use it, okay? So I pulled that in to get some use on as well. Oh, I forgot a powder. You guys. So my Laura Mercier translucent powder, I got this as a free birthday gift from Sephora, and y'all know that I pretty much just used up my translucent honey powder from Laura Mercier. Like, that one is about to be in my makeup empties. So I wanted to see how the translucent version is because I've never used the translucent version. Always use the translucent honey. So I wanted to test this out and see how I get along with this. So I'm just gonna leave it out here. And now let me very quickly show you guys my single eyeshadows and then we can get into the eyeshadow palettes. So I'm pulling in these two e.l.f. glitter shadows. So one of them is Copper Pop and then the other one is Dirty Martini. So this one is more of like that like copper beigey type of color, and then this one is a green, so I'm gonna use that. And then I have another NYX pigment because their pigments are amazing. This one is in the shade Old Hollywood, and you guys can see it's like a bronzy type of color with a lot of gold shimmer. I also want to pull in this MAC Shade Shifter Duochrome eyeshadow in Calling Your Bluff. These came out last year for the holidays. You guys, look at the freaking shine and glitter and shimmer on this shadow, and it's definitely a duochrome. Look at that. This is stunning, and I definitely think it'll go very, very well with the eyeshadow palettes that I picked. I also want to pull in my Makeup Geek Utopia pigment. I have not used this pigment in years, but look how stunningly beautiful this is. I cannot wait to use this eyeshadow on my eyes. And then the very last single shadow that I'm going to be bringing in, this is the MAC Reflex pigment, Reflex Glitter and Reflex Bronze. So I actually have another one of those in here already, and this one is in the shade Reflex Gold. So I'm going to be using all of those single shadows. I cannot wait. All right, you guys, last but not least, let's talk about the eyeshadow palettes that I'm going to be bringing in. So the first one is new to me. This is an older palette, but it's new to me. I just got it off of Mercari, brand spanking new. This is the Urban Decay Stone Vibes eyeshadow palette, and someone here on YouTube actually influenced me to get this palette. It is stunning. Like, look at these colors. I don't know why I didn't buy this when it first came out. I don't think I was buying makeup back when this first came out, but it is a beauty, and y'all know I love glittery toned shadows like this, so I'm really gonna enjoy this for the holiday season. So that's going in. I'm also bringing in my Artist Couture Supreme Mauves eyeshadow palette. People hated on this palette when it first came out, but I love it. You guys can see my favorite eyeshadow in this palette is the shade Risque. This is stunning. I have a feeling that I'm really gonna be reaching for these two shadows the most. I have a lot of pinky purple tones going on in this Shop My Stash, so we'll see how much I reach for the pinky tones in that one. I'm also pulling in my ColourPop Good as Gold eyeshadow palette. This is stunning. I used this palette 2 years ago for my New Year's makeup look, and it was so beautiful. I used this shade on my lid, and it's just stunning. The gold shadows in here are beautiful. I also want to pull in this palette that I have yet to use. This is the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, and I bought this palette just for the shimmer shades and still have yet to dip in them. I don't really care about the mattes. The mattes, I feel like they're gonna look very chalky and bad on my skin tone, but the shimmer shades, I really need to get some use out of these shimmer shades. Okay, and then I wanted to bring in my Alter Ego Goddess palette. You guys know this is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Gold palette, and again, these gold tones are just stunning. These mid-tone browns are really pretty. I really like this like jewel tone shade up there, so I'm gonna have to incorporate that into an eye look. So yeah, I really wanted to pull in that palette for those beautiful colors. My MAC custom eyeshadow palette that I made when I went out of town, this has to come in here, especially for the bottom row. I can't wait to use all of those shades. They scream holiday to me. They have that glitz and glitter and shimmer, but this palette in general, I feel like I could create a lot of really nice holiday makeup looks with it. So I wanted to definitely pull that in. Also from the One Size Disney Fantasia collaboration, I wanted to pull in the Storybook eyeshadow palette. This is a beauty, okay? It's a very simplistic type of palette. You know, you have those 4 neutral toned eyeshadows that anybody could wear, but then you have these really stunning toppers that you can put over the top of the eyeshadows. You can put it on your cheeks as a highlight. You can use it as a topper for anything. And then we have these amazingly stunning blushes, and I am obsessed with the One Size Beauty blush formula. These blushes definitely work on my skin tone, and I love that you have toppers for them as well. So this palette in and of itself is just magical, and since it's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, I wanted to pull this palette in to use for this time of year. I think it is so perfect. This is a palette that I haven't got a lot of use on. This is the Pure X Barbie eyeshadow palette. This was the first edition. I do have the second edition, but I wanted to go ahead and use this palette for some of the topper shades. Like, I wouldn't create a whole look using this palette, but to pull these shades in to use as toppers and companion shades, I think that this is perfect. So definitely using that. A few more palettes, you guys, stick with me. So I'm pulling in these 2 Dior palettes that I got during my Sephora sale. So the first one is the Burgundy Neutrals palette, and of course I pulled this in because of that gorgeous red shade, but also for this glittery shade up here because I'm about that glitter life. So I can't wait to use these. And then I also pulled in the Rosewood Neutrals palette, and again, I can't wait to pull it in for these pinky tone shades right here. Really, really stunning. So I think those will be really nice to use. And then the Rosewood Neutrals palette from Dior made me think about my Huda Beauty Nude Rich palette, which I haven't used in a minute. Mine is a little busted, but that's okay. These shimmer shadows, I mean, look at the shimmer and glitter on this palette. So stunning. So I think that this would make a great like night out type of look, something smoky and sultry. Very, very pretty. And the very last palette that I wanted to pull in is one that I have not used. This is the Vanessa X Juvia's Place eyeshadow palette. The colors are stunning, and these 2 shades up here kind of remind me of the shades from that Urban Decay Stone palette, but I cannot wait to use these, you guys. I'm super excited. All right, you guys, so I think that is everything. I think that is everything that I'm going to be using for this round of Shop My Stash. Again, I'm letting myself have free range of my collection. So if I feel like I want to change out these products by the time Christmas comes or before New Year's, then that's what I'm going to allow myself to do. I'm just going to use whatever it is that I want to use. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this iteration of Shop My Stash. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing these products, and it gives you some inspiration to pull out some of your holiday festive type of makeup products to use for this season. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below letting me know if you enjoyed it. If you're new, you should definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Fragrance and Beauty Army, as well as that bell notification so that you can be notified every single time that I upload a video. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace.